All right. Good morning. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, TikTok. I'm so happy to be with you all. My name is Natalie Levin, and I am I work with astrology. I work with angels guides, and I also am a holistic trauma informed financial professional. Oops, there we go. And I am wanting to check in with you all about the current astrology and current energies. It's Thursday morning, on the east coast of the United States. And as you can probably tell, we're having some really, really wild energies. Right now, what is happening? The moon is in Sagittarius, which is very interested in truth. What is true? What is just? What is right? We also are with the moon in Sagittarius. Today it's about 10:30 a.m. on the east coast of the United States. We are also being invited to check in with. Um, Hold on, someone is wanting me to be a host. I'm on TikTok. It's a new realm for me. We are working with, not dealing with, one, two, three, four placements in Capricorn, all opposing Jupiter. And with that energy, Jupiter in Cancer is bringing up this invitation for us to say, how is it feeling for us in my sense of myself at home? Am I able to care for myself in my home? What do I, and the home can be also themes of the mother. So I know that collectively there's a lot of conversation happening. Oh, sorry. Collectively, there's a lot of conversation happening around nurturing and actually like and lack thereof with the Capricorn energy. It can be also because one of the shadow sides of Capricorn can be that I'm so interested in climbing to the top of whatever ladder it is, and I want to succeed and have power over. That can be so loud that I end up forgetting to care and nurture myself and others. That is a challenge with this so much Capricorn energy. And what can I do to remember? Also, there's this incredible, powerful energy involved in what's called a T square. That is, hey, what about me? There's a lot of people feeling like, what about me? And it can be people. It doesn't. Let's invite when we're in our spirit form. There are no politics. There are no borders. There are no lines between this country and that country. So when I'm in my spirit form, I am able to remember that I am infinitely connected to you. I am infinitely connected to every single being with whom I come in contact. And when I'm not in my spirit form, it can be much harder to remember that. So, what would it be like right now with a lot of dissolving and disintegration on planet Earth, which is happening very much, at least again, I also want to say, and I say this often, yes, it is really important to be informed about what's happening in the world. It's really important to check in and really know have some sort of an idea of what's happening around the world. And I also want to invite in the idea that if I am here checking in with what's happening in the world all day, and when I'm doing that, I am falling into a state of dis-ease and unrest and sadness and overwhelm, it is not helpful for me or anyone else when I get caught in that state. So, what would it be like for me to invite myself? Okay, maybe you get 5 minutes to check in and see what's happening in the world, if I even want to do that. And then I'm going to come back and keep the focus on myself. I'm going to come back and invite myself to continuously step into a space where I get to nurture my own self with this Chiron, the youngest wounding in Aries. What would it be like for me? Aries is I am, I need, I want. So, what can I do personally to care for myself in that realm? Some examples are like I brushed my teeth today. I flossed. These are really sometimes when and it's 4 minutes and 44 seconds as I'm saying this. Sometimes these very basic activities of self-care and self-nurture can feel like Herculean efforts. And with the energy right now, it can feel so overwhelming that it can be challenging to actually do these basic activities of care for your own self. So I would invite you, when you brush your teeth, when you floss, maybe to give yourself a trophy and a medal. Like, you're amazing. I'm amazing. I did this. Like, I keep my toothbrush and my floss in the car. I have a spittoon there, and that is how I make sure I am caring for my oral hygiene. This is important. Also, Capricorn rules teeth, and we have 4 placements in Capricorn right now. We're also having the planet Saturn and Neptune at almost at the same degree. Saturn's at 27 degrees of Pisces. Neptune is at 29 degrees of Pisces. So there's this invitation right now to know that the systems and structures that are happening in the world in general and with it at the final degrees of Pisces. The final degrees of Pisces are the state between death and birth and birth and death and death and birth and birth and death. And as, for example, Neptune is going to be moving into Aries and will not be in Pisces for the next 156 years. We are ending an incredible cycle right now. And you can see that again in the world. There are dissolvings, there are disintegratings, there are beings leaving their bodies. There are other beings having causing these beings to leave their bodies. It is a lot of it can feel like, if you've ever seen a boil or had a boil, and you know that it's really like about to explode, and then it explodes and all this pus comes out. It's gross, but this is what's happening right now for the collective. There is this tension, and a popping energy, and all of this muck is coming out. It's like when you have a hose that you have not turned on for the year, and you turn it on, and then suddenly the water that comes out is like filled with mud and dregs and dirt and gook. And then after a while, it starts to flow clear. That's what's happening right now. We are having the gunk of thousands of years of buildup pouring out of the hose first. And that it is showing up as humans doing very low vibrational things. Examples can be, if I don't pay attention to that, or here's another, okay, let me interrupt my own self. When I am here and it negatively affects another person, I invite myself to remember that when I do that, when I'm leaving my body, when my spirit's proceeding to to pure spirit form, most of us have what's called a life review at that point. And when you're having your life review, there is this moment where you get to experience all of the feelings that you have felt in this lifetime, as well as all of the feelings that everyone who has been affected by your life, you get to experience all of their feelings as well. So if I am thinking about that, that's an interesting thing to bring into my consciousness, because how do I want to treat each person if I know that I will be feeling whatever they're feeling when I leave my body? What would it be like for me also to not engage in what's called idiot compassion? Idiot compassion is when I see someone, for example, in an active addiction, active alcoholism, or active heroin addiction, and I'm like, oh, I feel bad for you. You are having such a hard time being here on planet Earth. I really understand why you're using these substances to numb out. And that's something like idiot compassion, as opposed to, I mean, I can have those feelings and I don't have to actually support that person or enable them in this harmful numbing out that happens when we are in active addiction. There's also an invitation for you to consider these three things very importantly at this time, in terms of the people that you allow to be close to you in your inner realm. These things can be: is this person actively working on his or herself? And the answer is no, that person doesn't get to be around me. Is this person in active addiction? If the answer is yes, that person doesn't get to be around me. Is this person spiritually uplifting to be around? If the answer is yes, that person gets to be around me. So what would happen if you started to create these kinds of discerning characteristics as you consider whether or not someone gets to be in your presence? We're moving towards a full new moon in Capricorn, and we keep moving to apex after apex after apex. It's quite remarkable. And this next new moon in Capricorn is happening on January 18th, and it's going to involve, it's quite here's an invitation. What can I continuously do as what do I want to plant as seeds for the next 7,000 years to look like? That's the kind of astrology that we're in. It is a really, really hearty and intense astrology that's inviting in reflection for what do I want, what kind of seeds do I want to plant right now for the future of not only my life, my children's lives, my nieces, my nephews' lives, but also the lives of beings that are living 3,000 years from now. This is a time when we are creating a whole new reality, and you get to either be an active participant in it and make choices and take steps and action steps to really change the trajectory of your life. The other way that you could do this is you could simply be dragged along and land in a victim mentality, which could also be very loud right now. So for me, what I'm doing is taking steps. Some of the steps I'm taking are going live. I'm trying to go live as often as I can on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. I mean, I'm not allowed on Instagram yet, but I will in 25 days. I am making sure that the people with whom I surround myself are uplifting and spiritually uplifting to be around and connected to God, connected to spirit. I am doing the next right thing to care for myself and my family. And I am inviting myself to remember that there is no death. Death is an illusion. When we leave our bodies, it's this invitation to step into a whole new realm, the realm beyond the veil. So when we do that, if that is part of your experience, can you then allow in the idea that there's really nothing to be afraid of? There's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear. You are cared for. You are protected. It is an honor and a privilege to be invited to choose to come in as a human on planet Earth. And what do I want to do with this movie that I'm living right now? The movie that I'm living is, I have written this screenplay. I am starring in it. I'm the director and I'm the audience. And if that is all the case, what do I want the movie of my life to look like? I love you. If you'd like to work with me, I have an monthly experience happening where you get to be with me and other incredible beings, and we talk about astrology. I teach you. I tell you about the energies. You have a Telegram support group. We have live calls, and we go into your charts personally. And if you've ever thought about wanting support and not knowing where to get it, I invite you to reach out to me, because now is the time. Now is the time to make sure you're incredibly supported. I love you all so much. You're doing so great. Keep doing the next right thing. I'm going to end this stream now.